All right, let's get right into it. Welcome to our final Challenge Lab Explainer. Today, we're totally flipping the script. Instead of just learning how to build an argument, you are stepping right up to the bench. That's right. Today, you act as the ultimate judge in our mini debate decision game. We've got a docket full of really fascinating cases, and you have to make the final call on every single one of them. So here's how this whole thing is going to work. Your job is to listen carefully to both sides of these rapid-fire mini-debates. I'm going to present you with side A and side B. You need to decide the winner based strictly on the impact and reasoning they present, completely leaving your own personal biases at the door. You have to ask yourself, whose argument actually carries more weight in the real world? Let's open up our first set of case files. Precedent 1, the health imperative. Okay, our first case asks a question I'm absolutely sure we've all thought about at some point. Should homework be reduced? Side A says that homework helps students practice important skills. It's all about repetition and mastery. But Side B counters by stating that too much homework reduces sleep, which negatively affects a student's health every single day. So, what do you think? Take a second and actually weigh the benefits of practicing skills against the cost of losing precious sleep. How do you rule? And the verdict is in. Side B takes this round. This is literally a textbook example of a core concept in debate judging, the magnitude of the impact. Side B is the stronger argument because the daily compounding impact on a student's fundamental health significantly outweighs the short-term benefit of extra practice time. Without health and sleep, those skills can't really be effectively utilized anyway, right? All right, let's look at the flip side of that with our next case. Should students exercise every single day? Side A steps up to the mic and argues that exercise improves health and focus. Side B pushes back, arguing that daily exercise takes valuable time away from studying. Put that judge's hat back on. You're balancing physical health and mental focus right up against dedicated study hours. Make your ruling. For this one, Side A actually takes the win. Here's why. Improving your long-term health and focus isn't just some nice side benefit. It is the absolute foundation that actively supports your overall ability to learn in the first place. It essentially supercharges the studying you do manage to get done. It's like a multiplier for your brain. Moving right along to precedent 2, the distraction factor. First up on the tech docket, should phones be allowed in class? Side A says yes, because phones help you research stuff lightning fast. I mean, it's a supercomputer in your pocket. Side B says no, because phones distract students from actively listening during important lessons. Think about the primary goal of being in a classroom. Is having a fact at your fingertips more critical, or is focused attention on the actual lesson more vital? Which one carries more weight for you? In this case, Side B comes out on top. What's really interesting here is how this completely reframes the classroom's core purpose. The negative impact of distraction directly and immediately eats into the time you spend actually learning. Having fast facts doesn't do you much good if you've missed the entire foundational lesson being taught. Building on that exact idea, let's look at a pretty similar tool. Should tablets completely replace physical textbooks? Side A argues that tablets give incredibly fast access to a massive amount of information. Side B warns that tablets might distract students with built-in games and apps. Now, you've seen a case very much like this one already. Weigh the sheer speed and volume of access against that real, tempting potential for digital distraction. Who wins? Once again, Side B takes the victory. Just like with the phones, Side B is the stronger argument, because that massive potential for distraction directly undermines the main goal, classroom learning. If the tool meant for learning instead pulls you into a game, the educational impact is totally lost. And that brings us to precedent 3, the subjective split. You are doing fantastic so far. Now we are entering a truly challenging gray area. Case number 5 asks a classic question. Should school uniforms be required? Side A argues that uniforms reduce clothing distractions and social pressure. Side B argues that uniforms unfairly limit a student's vital right to self-expression. So, think really carefully about this subjective split. Both of these are incredibly valid concerns. How do you rule when both sides make a totally fair point? Go ahead, make your call. Okay, plot twist. Either answer is actually correct here. Both arguments are completely reasonable. You see, in these gray areas, the strongest judges win by clearly explaining which impact matters more to them and exactly why.
If you chose side A, you need to justify why reducing distraction is more crucial for education. If you chose side B, you have to explain why individuality and expression are vital for students' development. The why is what makes you a great judge.
Let's put that exact justification skill to the test in our bonus judge round. Should group projects be used more often? Side A champions them, saying group projects teach essential, real-world teamwork skills. Side B is pretty skeptical, pointing out that in groups, some students might unfairly do far less work than others.
This is the ultimate showdown: teamwork versus fairness. How do you, the judge, weigh the long-term benefits of learning to collaborate against the immediate, very real concerns of academic fairness? Make your decision.
Just like our uniform debate, the absolute best decisions here explain which impact really matters more. A strong judge compares those long-term teamwork benefits against the short-term fairness concerns and clearly, out loud, justifies the winner. It's not just about picking a side, it's about defending your logic.
All right, let's do a quick judge score check as we wrap things up. How many rounds did you feel confident about? If you systematically used these 3 steps today, comparing the impacts, checking the evidence, and evaluating the reasoning, then huge congratulations, because you are successfully thinking exactly like a real debate judge.
Excellent work today. You used argument comparison, logic checking, and impact weighing to make some seriously tough decisions. Get ready for a final Challenge Lab recap explainer next, where we're going to review everything you've practiced across this entire series. But before you go, I'll leave you with this. The next time you find yourself in an argument, ask yourself, if an impartial judge were listening right now, would your impacts actually win the round, or are you just making noise? See you next time.